I'm so glad we could meet.
Me too. This place is perfect.
Right? The coffee is amazing.
It is.
What a beautiful day for a walk.
It is. Especially with you.
I love this.
I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the mug of coffee I hadn't touched yet. You okay? Mom asked, hovering with a concerned smile. I'm fine, I said, forcing a grin. Just tired from work. You've been saying that a lot lately, Dad chimed in, folding his arms. Everything all right with Emily? I hesitated. Yeah, everything's fine. Truth was, everything wasn't fine. Emily had been distant lately, her laughter not quite matching her eyes. Small things, a lingering glance at her phone, a sudden smile at messages I couldn't see, started to gnaw at me. Later, Jay called. Hey man, you sound off. What's going on? I don't know, I admitted, pacing. Emily's been different. I can't explain it. Something feels off. Jake chuckled softly. You're overthinking. But hey, trust your gut. Don't ignore it. I'm not sure if it's just paranoia or I trailed off, pressing my fingers to my temples. Listen, Jake said, voice firm, you know me. If you feel something, act on it before it eats you alive. Don't let her, whatever she's doing, screw with your head. I sighed, grateful for his advice, but frustrated that I couldn't shake the feeling. Later that evening, Emily returned from her yoga class, her hair damp and glistening. Hey, babe, she said, smiling as if nothing was wrong. Hey, I replied. How was class? Great. Totally exhausting. You should join sometime. I laughed. Maybe. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of everyone. She tilted her head, eyes sparkling. I love watching you try new things. But then her phone buzzed. She glanced at it quickly, a shadow passing her face, and I noticed the way she hid it behind her bag. My chest tightened. Everything okay? I asked, trying to sound casual. Yeah, just a message from work. Nothing important, she said. Too quickly, too defensively. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. The unease refused to let go. I thought about all the little signs I had brushed off. Her late nights, secretive texts, the way she sometimes laughed at messages before even reading them to me. The next morning, Jay called again. So, any updates? I hesitated. I don't know. Something's wrong. I saw a message last night, just a peek. Doesn't prove anything, but it didn't sit right. You're right to notice it. Trust me, man. These things aren't always obvious at first. Pay attention. Don't get blindsided, he said. During breakfast, my parents chatted about their day, oblivious to my internal storm. Emily laughed at something Dad said, resting her hand on mine. I tried to smile, to feel comforted by the normalcy. But the thought of that hidden text burned in my mind. After they left for work, I picked up Emily's phone casually while she was in the shower. I told myself it was innocent curiosity. But then I saw it, her messages to David. Flirty, intimate, casual. My heart stopped. I dropped the phone, my hands trembling. What the hell? I whispered to myself. I couldn't believe it. Emily, the girl I trusted with everything, and my parents always protective of her, they would never believe me if I said anything. Jake's voice echoed in my head. Don't ignore it. I sank into the couch, staring at the ceiling. My perfect life wasn't perfect at all. Something inside me shifted, an uneasy mix of fear, heartbreak, and anger. And deep down, I knew life as I knew it was about to end. Emily, can we talk? I asked one evening, trying to keep my voice calm. She looked up from her phone, smiling. Sure, babe. What's up? I hesitated. I saw a message last night. On your phone. Her smile didn't falter. What message? I don't remember sending anything weird. I tried again. It seemed flirty. I don't know. Maybe it was nothing. Emily leaned back casually. You're imagining things. You always overthink. Am I? I snapped, my chest tightening. I'm trying to be honest here. I feel like something's off. She laughed softly, a little too sharp. I can't believe you don't trust me. I've done nothing wrong. I felt a pang of frustration. Then why do I keep seeing things that don't add up? Why do I feel like I'm missing pieces? Emily's phone buzzed, and she glanced at it, still smiling. Work stuff. Seriously, you need to relax. You're letting your imagination run wild. I wanted to scream. Relax? I see the texts, Emily. I'm not crazy. She tilted her head, giving me that familiar look, sweet, persuasive, infuriating. Maybe you were just letting paranoia get the better of you. You always worry too much. The next day, I tried talking to my parents. Mom, Dad, I'm worried. Something's happening with Emily. Dad waved a hand. Son, you're just stressed. Emily's a good girl. Trust her. Mom nodded. She's always been thoughtful and kind. Don't let small doubts ruin your relationship. I swallowed my anger. It's not small. I saw messages. I feel lied to. Dad frowned. Sometimes we think we see things that aren't there. Give her the benefit of the doubt. I left, fists clenched, walking to the cafe where Jake waited. I can't take this anymore, I said, plopping into the chair across from him. Jake raised an eyebrow. What happened? Everything feels wrong. Emily denies it. My parents dismiss me. And I keep seeing things that don't make sense. Jake leaned forward. Okay, slow down. Start from the beginning. What did you see? I recounted the messages, her defensive responses, the way my parents sided with her. Jake shook his head. That's rough, man. But you're not crazy. I can see it in your tone, your gut. Trust it. Keep track of everything. Write it down. Write it down. I asked, puzzled. Yeah, a journal. Document incidents, conversations, anything unusual. Don't confront her yet. Let your observations speak for themselves. It'll help you stay sane. I nodded, the idea giving me a strange sense of control. Over the next week, I started my secret journal. Every text, every odd glance, every lie I caught, I wrote it down. Emily's behavior grew stranger. She started canceling plans with friends, claiming exhaustion. Her friend Sophie appeared more often, always praising Emily, subtly criticizing me. You really should trust her, you know, Sophie said once, leaning close. She's not like other girls. I clenched my jaw. I do trust her. I need the truth. Sophie laughed lightly. Well, sometimes trusting means letting go, even if you don't like what you see. Emily smiled at Sophie, then at me. See? Everyone thinks you're overreacting. I wanted to shout. I'm not overreacting. But Jake's voice stayed in my mind. Document, observe, don't lose control. At night, I pour my thoughts on a paper, my anger and confusion bleeding into every line. Betrayal didn't feel accidental anymore. It felt intentional, methodical. I called Jake once more. It's worse than I thought. She's isolating me, and my parents, they're siding with her. Jake sighed. Then you've got your proof. Don't let emotions dictate your next step. Patience. Observation. That's your power now. I hung up, staring at the ceiling, pen in hand. Every detail mattered. Every line mattered. And deep down, I knew I had to survive this to understand it all before making any move. I didn't mean to find out today. I really didn't. But when I got off work early, something told me to swing by Emily's apartment. My stomach churned the whole ride there. Emily, I knocked softly. No answer. The door was unlocked. I stepped inside. My heart stopped. There she was, Emily, laughing, leaning against David. My own David. She was close, too close. Their hands brushed. She whispered something, and he grinned, arrogant, unaware I'd arrived. What the hell? I shouted. They jumped apart. Emily's eyes widened. I can explain. Explain? Explain what, Emily? This. I pointed at them. This is explaining? David smirked. Hey man, no need to freak out. It's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like? I laughed bitterly. You're laughing with my girlfriend in my living room. What else could it be? Emily's face twisted. Calm down. You're overreacting. It's nothing serious. Nothing serious? I shook my head, anger surging. I saw the messages, Emily, flirting, laughing at private jokes. You lied to me. David shrugged. Look, I didn't force anything. She came to me. She came to you? Really? I shouted. And you, both of you, thought I wouldn't notice? Thought I'd just sit there like an idiot? Emily stepped forward. You're making a scene. David and I are adults. You need to calm down. You're embarrassing yourself. I laughed through my rage. Embarrassing myself? I feel humiliated, betrayed. And you, my parents, what would they say if they saw this? I didn't have to imagine it. The next day, I confronted them. Mom, Dad, you have to see this. Emily, she's cheating on me. David, Dad held up a hand. Calm down, son. Are you sure? Maybe it's not as bad as you think. Not as bad. Dad, I walked in on them. I saw it with my own eyes. Mom frowned. Emily wouldn't do that. Are you certain you're not misreading things? Misreading? Mom, she's in my apartment with him. Holding hands, laughing like nothing exists. Dad sighed. Emily's been good to this family. Maybe you're overreacting. You always rush to anger. I stared at them, disbelief freezing me. You're defending her? After everything I've told you. Mom's voice softened. We just want to protect you from making mistakes. Trust me, she wouldn't hurt you. I felt my stomach drop. Alone. Completely alone. Even the people who should have stood by me, they were siding with her. Back in my apartment, I sank into the couch, trembling. I can't believe this. I trusted her with everything. Jake called. Hey man, you okay? You sound like hell. Not okay, I admitted. I caught her cheating. David. My own parents, they're defending her. I don't know what to do. Jake's voice was steady. Breathe. Step back. Don't act rashly. Right now, you have clarity. Use it. I don't even know what that means, I muttered, gripping the edge of the couch. It means this. You have evidence, you have perspective. You're not alone in this, even if your parents are blind. Think. Plan. Don't react like a fool in the moment. You want control, right? Yes, I whispered. Control. I need control. That night, I started plotting silently. No one could know yet. Every step had to be calculated. Every interaction documented. I couldn't trust Emily. I couldn't trust David. And clearly, I couldn't trust my parents. Anger and heartbreak warred inside me. I will not let this destroy me, I told myself. I will survive. I will get back at them, one way or another. I pulled out my journal, flipping to a new page. I wrote every detail. Times, conversations, text excerpts, body language. Every lie, every excuse, every dismissal. It all went on paper, precise and factual. Emily's betrayal wasn't fleeting. It was methodical. I realized she had been building this secret life for weeks, maybe months. And David, he had been part of it willingly. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Rage coursed through me, but beneath it was clarity. I knew I couldn't confront everyone publicly yet. Patience would be my weapon. Observation would be my ally. I whispered to the empty room. You think you've won? Emily? David? My parents? This isn't over. Not by a long shot. For the first time since discovering the betrayal, I felt a spark of purpose, cold, calculated, but mine. I stayed in my apartment for days, avoiding calls, avoiding friends, avoiding even my own parents. The betrayal sat in my chest like a weight I couldn't lift. Hey man, you there? Jake's voice came over the phone. I didn't answer at first. Come on, talk to me, he urged after a pause. You can't just hide forever. I don't want to see anyone, I muttered. Not Emily, not my parents, not anyone. Jake's sigh was heavy. I get it. But isolating yourself isn't healing. It's letting them win. Don't be a passive victim. You've got to act, or you'll drown in this. I feel betrayed, Jake. By everyone I admitted. Even my own parents sided with her. How is that fair? No one said life is fair, he said bluntly. But you control what happens next. You can sit in misery, or you can plan. Strategize. Take control. That's the only way forward. I ran a hand through my hair, the anger still fresh. She's flaunting it, you know. David. Everywhere she goes, she's smiling like nothing happened. Like I don't exist. Jake's voice softened. Then use that. Let their arrogance be their weakness. You got evidence, right? Keep it safe, organized. And don't confront yet. Wait for the right moment. Later that week, I went to work trying to escape my thoughts. That's when Mia stopped by my desk. Hey, you okay? You've been distant. I hesitated. I'm dealing with some personal stuff. She tilted her head, suspicious. Look, I don't know what's going on, but I've noticed some things about Emily and David. You're not imagining it. What do you mean? I asked, heart quickening. Mia leaned closer. I saw them together, more than once. I didn't say anything before because it wasn't my place. But yeah, you got proof? Anything concrete? I nodded slowly. About messages, screenshots, even times they lied about work. She smiled faintly. Good. Keep everything. If you decide to confront them, do it smart. Don't let emotions ruin it. That night, I joined a group call with my friends. Hey man, where have you been? We barely see you anymore, one of them asked. Been busy, I muttered. Stuff's going on. Sounds serious, another said. Do you want to talk about it? I can't, I admitted. Not yet. It's complicated. But thanks for checking in. They didn't press. Their concern meant something, even if I couldn't show it. Back in my apartment, I opened my journal and wrote furiously. Every lie, every sneaky text, every small betrayal. The pages were filling fast. I felt a strange mixture of relief and rage. Documenting it made me feel less powerless. Emily's social media updates mocked me like salt in an open wound. Dinners, laughter, photos with David. My chest tightened every time I saw them. You think I care? I whispered to the empty room. You think this hurts me more than it fuels me? Jake's advice echoed in my head. Patience, observation, control. I knew I had to plan carefully. This wasn't about revenge through violence. It was about exposure, truth, undeniable proof, a methodical dismantling of the lies she and David were hiding behind. Mia's warnings also weighed on me. I couldn't trust anyone fully, except those who had already seen pieces of the truth. But her support gave me a small spark of hope. I started imagining the confrontation in my mind. Step by step, word by word, evidence in hand. Public, undeniable, leaving no room for excuses. The thought made my chest pound, not with fear but with purpose. I won't let this define me, I murmured. I won't let them think they can humiliate me and walk away unscathed. For the first time in days, I felt a shift, a tiny but fierce fire. The betrayal hurt, but it was fueling me now. Not anger for anger's sake, but clarity, strategy, control. I closed my journal, leaning back in my chair. Every move I made from now on would matter. Emily and David could flaunt their victory for now, but the scales were about to tip, and I would be ready. I sat at my desk, staring at the files on my laptop. Screenshots, text messages, emails, everything Emily and David had tried to hide. I tapped my fingers against the keyboard. I have to be smart. No mistakes, I whispered. Jake called, as usual. How's the detective work going? Slowly, I muttered. I don't want to miss anything. Every message, every little slip, it counts. You're doing the right thing, he said. Don't let emotions rush you. Document, organize, stay sharp. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. I've started compiling a timeline. Every lie, every alibi. I want it clear, undeniable. Later, Mia stopped by my desk. Hey, I gathered what I could. I've seen a few things that might help. David bragging to coworkers, Emily covering for him at the office. I leaned in. Show me everything. Names, times, witnesses. Every little detail matters. She handed me a notebook. Take it, but be careful. You're exposing more than just them. There are consequences. I know, I said quietly. Every move counts. I can't afford mistakes. At home, I dug deeper. My parents' old financial records, letters from business partners. They weren't outright crimes, but there were hidden manipulations, shady deals I'd never known about. My stomach twisted. So it's not just Emily, it's them too. I picked up my phone. Jake, it's worse than I thought. My parents, they've hidden things for years. Manipulated situations for their benefit. I could expose them too. Jake was silent for a moment. And do you want to? You have the right to hold them accountable. But remember, once you pull that thread, nothing stays private. Think carefully. I chew my lip. I do. But should I? Is it really necessary? Think strategically, he advised. You're in control. You decide what matters. One step at a time. I closed my eyes, imagining the confrontation. Emily, smug and confident. David, arrogant and careless. My parents, pretending innocence. I rehearsed my words, my evidence ready, every reaction predicted. If I play it right, they can't lie. Not this time. The next day, I met Margaret, Emily's mother, at a cafe. I feel like something's off, she said, fidgeting. Emily's been secretive, and David. I don't trust him around her. But I didn't want to say anything before. I leaned in. You've noticed too? Have you seen anything concrete? She shook her head. No, just moments. But maybe I can help. You're not imagining things. I see it now. That helps, I said. Every ally counts. Just be careful who you talk to. This has to be precise. Margaret nodded. I understand. I'll stay quiet, but if you need support, I can be there. Back at work, I coordinated with colleagues who had witnessed David and Emily together. We need your statements, I told them. Times, dates, things you've seen. Don't add opinions, just facts. Everything counts. One of them frowned. Are you sure this is safe? It has to be, I said firmly. I can't afford anything unclear or exaggerated. Facts only. That night, I sat alone, imagining the confrontation again. I could see their faces, hear their lies, anticipate the excuses. Each scenario ended with me holding evidence, the truth undeniable, leaving them stunned. Still, a part of me hesitated. Am I going too far? Exposing my parents to Emily? Is this justice or just revenge? Jake's voice lingered in my mind. Patience, observation, control. I realized control was the goal. Not vindictiveness, not humiliation. Control over my life, over the chaos they'd caused me. I opened my journal, writing every plan, every step. I listed witnesses, compiled evidence, noted timing, rehearsed dialogue. Every line of writing tightened my focus, sharpened my resolve. This isn't about hurting anyone unnecessarily, I whispered to myself. It's about truth, accountability, and making sure no one else gets away with betrayal. By the end of the night, the plan was clear. Public exposure, evidence undeniable, timing perfect. Every interaction, every lie, every hidden secret would be revealed strategically. I closed my journal, leaning back, the weight of anticipation heavy but exhilarating. The betrayal had fueled me, but now it gave me purpose. Emily and David might have thought they were untouchable. My parents might have thought their secrets safe. But I had patience, proof, and a plan. And soon, everything would come to light. I walked into the ballroom, my suit crisp, my tie perfectly straight, but inside I was a storm. Laughter and music filled the room. Guests mingled, clinking glasses oblivious to the chaos I had planned. Jake's voice came over my shoulder. You ready for this? I nodded, swallowing hard. As ready as I'll ever be. It has to be perfect. Just remember, he said, calm, collected. Evidence first, emotion second. You've got this. I scanned the crowd. Emily stood near the cake, laughing with David. My parents were chatting with extended family, smiling like everything was normal. I approached Emily, my hands trembling slightly. Emily, can we talk? She turned, eyebrows raised. Here? Now? What is it? I need a moment. Private, I said firmly. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Fine, but make it quick. We moved to a quiet hallway. The music was muffled behind us. I know about David, I said, voice low but steady. I saw everything. I have messages, emails, witnesses. This ends now. Emily laughed nervously. What are you talking about? You're imagining things. This is absurd. Absurd? I walked in on you, Emily. I watched you laugh with him like I didn't exist. Her face paled slightly. You can't. You're overreacting. Overreacting? You think flaunting it is normal? You lied to me. You lied to my parents. You lied to everyone I trusted, I said, taking a deep breath. I gave you everything, and you threw it away. She opened her mouth, then closed it, unsure. David appeared in the hallway, smirking. Wow, this is dramatic, he said, arms crossed. What now? I glared at him. Now, everyone knows. Tonight. Right here. Emily's eyes widened. You wouldn't. I would, I said firmly. And I will, because the truth matters more than your lies. We returned to the ballroom. I stepped onto the small stage, holding my journal and a tablet with screenshots. Guests glanced up, murmuring. My parents noticed immediately, their smiles faltering. Everyone, I said, voice loud and steady. I need your attention. This isn't easy, but it's necessary. The room quieted. Guests whispered, confused and curious. I turned to Emily. Emily cheated. With David. I have proof. Screenshots, emails, witnesses. They thought they could hide it, but they were wrong. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Emily's friends whispered, shocked. David's colleagues looked guilty. I held up the tablet. Here are messages. Flirtatious texts, secret meetings. Dates and times. Witnesses saw everything. They lied to me. They lied to all of you. Emily stammered. You can't. This isn't fair. Fair. I said, voice shaking slightly with restrained fury. You think life is fair? You think cheating and manipulation is acceptable? No. You get called out publicly because that's what betrayal deserves. Murmurs turned into louder whispers. I could feel the tension radiating. Parents' faces had turned pale. Mom, Dad, I said, meeting their eyes. You defended her. You lied to protect your image. But the truth can't stay buried. I have proof of your manipulations too. Letters, records, everything. My father's jaw tightened. This is inappropriate. You're humiliating the family. I'm exposing the truth, I said firmly. Humiliation isn't mine. It's the natural consequence of lying and betrayal. Emily's sister approached, horrified. What are you doing? Showing reality, I said. No lies. No hiding. Just truth. Guests murmured, some staring at Emily and David, others at my parents. Faces registered shock, disbelief, judgment. Gossip spread like wildfire. Emily's cheeks burned red. You can't do this. I shook my head. I already did. And the worst part is, it's only the beginning. You and David, your lies, my parents' secrets, they're all out now. I stepped down from the stage, the weight of the confrontation settling in. I felt empowered, yes, but also conflicted. Vindication was sweet, but the emotional cost was heavier than I imagined. Jake came up beside me quietly. You did it. You stayed calm, collected. You exposed everything perfectly. I exhaled slowly. Yeah, but at what cost? The room is divided. People I thought I could rely on are shocked, confused, even angry at me. And I still feel hollow. Jake nodded. That's normal. You gave them truth, and truth is uncomfortable. But you regained control. That's what matters. I scanned the room. Emily and David sat humiliated, my parents stiff with anger and embarrassment. Guests whispered endlessly, some nodding at me, others shaking their heads. I realized something important. Justice had been served, but it was messy, painful, emotional. Yet in the chaos, I found clarity. I whispered to myself, quietly but firmly, this is my life now, and no one can manipulate me again. The music resumed, but I barely noticed. Tonight had changed everything. And for the first time since the betrayal, I felt powerful. The morning after the wedding, the apartment felt emptier than ever. I sipped my coffee in silence, staring at the city outside. Emily was gone. David was gone. My parents hadn't left the house, but their voices were quiet, guarded. Jake called. How's it feeling today? Lonely, I admitted. Relief too, I guess, but everything's hollow. People are talking, whispering. Some friends, even extended family, they don't know the full story. They see me as dramatic, maybe cruel. Jake's voice was calm. I warned you, it wouldn't be easy. You exposed truth, not fiction. People react differently when reality stings. That's not on you. I know, I said, rubbing my eyes. But it hurts. Some of my friends avoid me now, pretending nothing happened. Even my cousins, once close, act distant. They're judging without knowing everything. You gave them the facts. You didn't lie. That's your anchor. The rest, let slide. People will gossip. Focus on what matters, your dignity. I nodded. It's strange. Part of me wants to call Emily, confront her, scream at her. But another part knows it's pointless. She ran. David vanished. Their consequences enough. Jake chuckled softly. See? That's growth. Revenge is sweet in theory, but empty in practice. You've already taken control. Let's settle. Later, I ran in my neighbor, Mrs. Hawkins, carrying groceries. I heard about the wedding. Mama, such a scandal, she whispered. I forced a small smile. Yes, it was unexpected. Some people just can't help themselves, she said knowingly. Hope you're holding up. I am, I lied. Well, mostly. My parents avoided direct conversation, but glances carried judgment. Son, maybe things got out of hand, Dad said, voice tight. Maybe, I replied evenly. Or maybe honesty finally hit home. Your choices, your lies, they have consequences too. Mom frowned. You didn't have to humiliate them. Family should be protected. I shook my head. Family? Trust was destroyed long before anyone humiliated anyone. I protected myself. That's all I did. Alone that night, I pulled out my journal. The pages were filled with timelines, proof, and notes about everything Emily and David did, and my parents' hidden manipulations. I read through it slowly, reflecting. Betrayal wasn't just painful, it reshaped me. Jake called again. Writing helps, right? Yeah, I said quietly. It's like sorting the chaos in my mind, seeing the truth in black and white. Good, he said, because the truth is your foundation now. Nothing can shake that. Not Emily, not David, not even your parents. Your self-respect matters more than revenge. Remember that. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Self-respect. That phrase echoed through me. For so long, I let trust, love, and loyalty define me. Betrayal had shattered that, but now I could rebuild stronger. There was bitterness, of course. A raw ache in my chest whenever I thought of Emily laughing with David, whenever my parents' faces flashed in my memory. But there was also clarity, an understanding that I had acted with integrity, that the power I'd taken back wasn't just about exposing lies, but about reclaiming myself. Friends who hadn't fled reached out cautiously. Hey, are you okay? One asked via text. I responded slowly, carefully. I didn't need sympathy. I didn't need pity. I needed acknowledgement. I needed boundaries. One by one, I started reconnecting with the few who mattered. Real connections, grounded in truth, not facades. Emily and David's absence was a void, yes, but also a relief. Their selfishness couldn't harm me anymore. I thought of the wedding scene over and over. The gasps, the whispers, the judgment. It had been public, brutal, and necessary. And yet, the aftermath was quieter, lonelier than I expected. Power carried weight, and justice carried solitude. Jake's voice stayed in my head as I closed the journal for the night. You survived. You took control. That's what matters. I whispered aloud. I survived. I controlled what I could. And I'll keep moving forward. For the first time in weeks, I felt the weight in my chest ease. The betrayal, the exposure, the isolation, they were all part of the price. But the clarity, the truth, and the regained self-respect were worth it. Tomorrow I would step out, walk among people without fear, without hiding. I had been hurt, humiliated, and abandoned. Yet I still stood, stronger, wiser, unbroken. And for the first time since it all began, I allowed myself a small smile. I sat at the park bench, the wind carrying the faint scent of spring. It was quiet, except for children laughing in the distance. I had spent weeks rebuilding, sorting through emotions, friendships, and shattered trust. Jake joined me, carrying 2 coffees. Figured you'd need one, he said, handing me a cup. Thanks, I muttered, watching the steam curl into the cold air. I think I finally feel lighter. Not free, exactly, but clearer. Jake raised an eyebrow. Clarity is a start. You've done a lot of hard work to get here. I have, I admitted. I've thought about everything. Emily, David, my parents, and me. I realized my mistakes too. Naivety, dependency, blind trust. I let people walk over me. Let them define my happiness. Jake nodded. That self-awareness is huge. Most people never get there. So what now? I prioritize myself, I said, voice firm. My worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval. I can care about people, yes, but boundaries, honesty, respect first. You sound different, Jake said, smiling faintly. Stronger, wiser, not bitter. Still bitter sometimes, I admitted, but it's manageable now. I feel more in control, not just of what I show the world, but of how I react to it. We walk along the path, leaves crunching underfoot. Some friends drifted away, I said quietly. Family too, in a way. But I've reconnected with the few who mattered. Not everyone deserves a place in my life. Quality over quantity, Jake said. I'm proud of you. Later, I called an old friend. Hey, I know I've been distant. Things got messy. I want to make amends if you're willing. The voice on the other end hesitated. I appreciate that. It hurt, but I can see now. Let's start fresh. I smiled faintly, a real one this time. Yeah, fresh start. The next few weeks, I focused on work, hobbies, and small personal goals. I signed up for a painting class I'd always wanted to try. You'll probably hate it, I joked to Jake during our next call. I doubt it, he replied. But even if you do, trying is what matters. I thought about the betrayal constantly, not with anger, but as a lesson. Love can be deceptive. Trust can be broken. Family can fail. But resilience is mine to cultivate. One evening, I caught myself smiling at the sunset. I whispered, I survived it all. I'm still standing. And I'm proud of that. Jay called again. You sound lighter. At peace. Almost, I admitted. It's bittersweet. Scars remain, but they remind me of what I've overcome. I feel liberated, but I'm reflective too. I understand more about myself, about people. You've grown, Jake said simply. That's what counts. I remembered Emily's face, David's smirk, my parents' disappointment. And I didn't feel rage anymore. Just understanding. They were reflections of choices I wouldn't make. The past didn't define me. My response did. At a small cafe, I met another friend I hadn't seen since the wedding. You look different, she said. Calmer somehow. Maybe, I said, sipping my coffee. I've learned a lot. Painful lessons, but necessary. Betrayal teaches you about love, trust, and self-respect. I'm not who I was before. She nodded. It shows. You carry yourself differently. I'm still healing, I admitted, but I'm moving forward. Choosing myself, my integrity, my happiness. Later, walking home, I thought about my life before the betrayal. How easy it was to let someone else dictate my emotions. How blind I had been to subtle signs. How desperately I sought approval. I won't do that anymore, I whispered. I choose myself first. I passed a small bookstore and decided to step in. Browsing the shelves, I smiled at a quote on a wall poster. Pain shapes you, but it doesn't define you. That hit me hard. It was true. Betrayal had hurt me deeply, but it had also forged strength I didn't know I had. Scars remained, but they weren't chains. They were reminders of resilience. Jake called later that evening, thinking about the future. Yes, I said, gazing out the window. I'm not rushing. I'll be cautious, yes, but I'll live fully, love carefully, trust wisely, and always respect myself first. That's the right approach, he said. I've always known you had it in you. I chuckled softly. Took a painful crash to figure it out, though. And that's okay, he replied. Some lessons aren't learned any other way. I hung up and stared at the city lights. Life was still messy, unpredictable. People could betray, lie, or disappoint. But I could survive. I could grow. I could thrive. I whispered to the night sky. I'm ready now. For myself, and for the life I'll build. Stronger, wiser, unbroken. And for the first time in months, I truly felt it, liberated, scarred, empowered, and whole.